Hello everyone, how you all doing? Welcome to another video. I've been playing a few more video games after the revision rush has gone through. I have a little bit more free time for video games again, and I have played a few throughout the latest couple of months that I wanted to talk about because I'm really excited about them. I wanted to share with them, and they are different genres and different styles a little bit, so maybe you'll find something that you find interesting. Quick video about that. Let's get started. The first game that I wanted to talk about is called Yuppie Psycho. It's really, really good. It's a narrative exploration sort of thing, but with pixel art, very good pixel art, very well drawn and animated, or pixelated and animated. It's kind of, it's not the usual point and click sort of thing. So it's more driving your little character around in the world and exploring stuff, but it's a very weird, psychotic sort of world. And you can see by the images of the trailer, like there's a lot of horror elements in it, as the trailer just mentioned. A lot of psychological things as well. Very moody, very gritty, very what the fuck thing. Talks about corporate world, or explores the setting of a corporate world, but with like a very weird twist to it. I like the story very much. I think it was very well done. The whole mood of the game, on the setting, was very good. The gameplay on some areas was not top notch as it should be, but overall you could play it and have fun with it. The saving system was also very interesting and slightly different from what you're used to. Overall, I definitely recommend you to checking it out, especially if you like horror or creepy settings, sort of. It doesn't really have like jump scares sort of horror, so it's more not knowing what you're getting yourself into sort of horror to it. I really enjoyed it, highly recommend it, and I want to play the previous game that these studio made, Count Lucachor, I think it's called. Probably scroll down and find it here. This one, Count Lucanor. I want to play this one as well. I already have it. I probably bought it on a bundle as well, and I want to try it out as well. So yeah, highly recommend Yuppie Psycho. Check it out. The next game on my recommendation list is Hexologic. I like logic-based puzzle games very much. This one is very heavily focused on math and counting math things, more math than logic. I'm a bit burned by what's it called, Excels. I like the Hexels series a lot, and there are some derivatives of Hexels as well. The mood and ambient on those were so on point. The puzzles and the dynamics were so well built that I was a bit scarred from it. Like my expectations were too high, and Hexologic kinda scratched that niche and kinda didn't. I ended up 100%ing it, both on easy mode and hard mode. So clearly was fun, but after playing a few levels, you feel like feels more like a task than, interests. So I had to pace myself doing a few levels each time, but I always ended up coming back to it. And it did feel like it should have went higher in terms of difficulty and complexity. There are different kind of modes in it every 10 levels, but you end up feeling like, okay, there's this new mechanic in it. Can we have more content than just 10 levels for this mechanic? And they did develop an unlimited mode where I guess the levels are generative only for some of the mechanics, not all of them. And I think it also has a level editor, which I haven't tried it out. So that might itch my scratch, but for the base game itself, it felt like it needed a little bit more content in it. But if you check it only costs €3. So for €3, and you probably can catch it on sale by like half of it. It's a pretty good game. It's a pretty solid game. I played it on my Steam Deck. The controls are a bit weird. You could tell that it was made for touch or for clicking with the mouse and not really for controller. But other than that, it's still playable. So it's still pretty good, pretty solid. If you like logic games, puzzle games, check Hexologic out. Another game that I wanted to talk about, N++. I have been playing N++ for a very long time now. I'm still nowhere near 100% in the game. I keep doing more stuff. I'm almost at 75% on the original N++ edition. And then there was the Ultimate edition that came out, and I'm only at like 38% on that one of doing stuff. So I've been focusing a lot on the original N++. And it feels like I reached my peak of ability in terms of skill, and all the levels that I have left to do, levels and challenges, are just really hard. So I have to practice a lot and then maybe get lucky. And I sometimes do a video out of it, and I hope you enjoy that sort of content on my channel. I also do some stuff for the community there. I do some maps sometimes when I'm bored, some very basic maps, sometimes some harder maps. But the basic maps are the ones that feel more rewarding because I can whip them up quick and there are more people playing them. I can see the way that people played. It's a bit rewarding in that regard, and therapeutical for myself to just create something and see other people using it. I also do a tool, and the reason I got back into playing N++ was because I have this tool developed a couple of years ago already to add custom things to the original N++. So custom map packs, custom sound packs, custom things. They were made available by the community, but they were mostly just listed on an Excel sheet. And I made like an application that you can, read from the Excel sheet automatically, lists everything, and you can choose which ones to install and click the button to install it, and then you're ready to play. So it's easier technically for using it, but most of the hardcore players from N++ know their way around computers, so it's not being very used, it's being somewhat used, but I still give it an update now and again, either adding some new functionality or in case someone broke something, I need to fix some stuff. So still give it some updates now and again. Anyway, so yeah, N++, very hooked on it, and definitely recommend it. I have been playing a lot more of it lately, as you've seen on the videos on the channel. Another game that I've been playing more of was Warzone. Well, now it's called Warzone. It used to be called Warlight. I still call it Warlight. I'm playing a little bit more again of it. Mostly quick match. Sometimes some 3 versus 3 games. If I see one open late at night and I'm a bit bored. If you like strategic risk sort of things, but more strategic, it's a really cool game. So definitely check it out. And then another game that I played recently was Alba. I got this free on Epic Games for during a week that it was open, and I mostly installed it because I wanted to check if my kid was already able to play it or not. It's a game with a very good message, very cute graphics. I tried to play it, and he's not very comfortable with the controller yet, so maybe still a bit too complex for it. For him, but it was worth checking out, and I got interested on the concept of the game, and I ended up playing the game myself instead of waiting for the kid. Basically, you have to go around an island, and you have to photograph wildlife that you find and try to help different situations that happen, cleaning up the island, rescuing some animals. So very good message, very well executed. It's kind of short of a game, but I think it was pretty solid. So yeah, do check it out, especially if you have kids that you want to bring some awareness to environmental problems. I think this is a good game for them to check out and get more involved in that side of things. And then I played Gods Will Be Watching. Gods Will Be Watching. It's very hard. It's very hard to play. By the description here, you feel a bit tricked, like point and click. When you say point and click, you imagine that it's like an adventure game, like Monkey Island. This is point and click, and the graphics are pixel graphics, but all the situations that you're playing are very tense and very hard for you to get out of. It's like the first situation that you run into is a heist situation where you have to define the little elements that you need to do, and if you spend time doing something bad is happening elsewhere. You have to balance everything out, and that's the difficulty of the game, is balancing everything out, understanding all of the mechanics that are happening, and then manage to balance things out. And even when you know the mechanics, it's still very hard. So that's what's really gruesome about the game. And there are some additional challenges on top of that, like trying to survive everyone and not have anyone killed, which makes the balancing even harder. And I managed to get through the first chapter. Was really hard for me. Eventually, I found a trick to go past it easier, but I was almost giving out on the game just because of the difficulty on the first chapter. The other chapters are slightly easier, but still very interesting and slightly different mechanics. So it's not the same thing repeated on the other ones. It's slightly different. The setting is really good. The story is really good. The pixel art is excellent, but the difficulty is really... I think my main strife with the difficulty is that it's very long sessions, like 20 minutes, half an hour session. If you screw something up in the beginning, you keep trying to, come back from that, and it's merciless. It will come back and bite you in the ass for sure. So it's quite a few times I screwed something up in the beginning. I just restarted the level, which kind of kills the immersiveness of the thing. I think they missed a little bit of balancing on the thing. They do have an easy setting, but they recommend that it should be played hard. So I tried that, and I kind of regretted it. But now I'm in it, Now I'm in like chapter 5, I think, still in hard setting, and like, I don't know. I thought the story was ending and still had one more chapter. I was like, okay, I'm saving, and I'll come back to this later because I'm already reading the details of all the different things where you're going to screw up on this mission, and I'm already getting freaked out. So yeah, but do recommend it if you like strategic balancing act sort of strategic games. This is really good for you to check out. If you like science fiction, it's also pretty good. The story is pretty on point. It is a bit gruesome. Like, it has this thing here that says that it's dark. It is. Like, the second chapter is about a torture scene and surviving a torture scene, and you do get a bit queasy at the things that they're doing, and the way that they graphically explicitly show you the things. So yeah, it can be a bit hardcore. So yeah, all the situations are like that, like life or death. So yeah, definitely dark, not advisable for everyone, but I think it's a good game, and I want to keep playing it. I want to finish that chapter 5 and see if there's more, or if I finish the end of the story, and I want to replace some of the chapters, try to do better than I did. Mostly chapter 4. Chapter 4, it felt like I went for the easy route too early on, and because I didn't understand the mechanics of the thing, but then I was already halfway through, and I didn't want to ruin or lose the mission, so I ended up continuing to play even though I already lost some of the members, and I want to try finishing that chapter without losing anyone. That's my goal for after finishing the game. I'm gonna go back to that chapter in specific. So yeah, do recommend it. Gods are watching. Gods will be watching. Yeah, and those were the few games that I've been playing, and I hope you check them out if you find them interesting. I do have quite a few more games on my list of games to check out, but I'm balancing with other stuff in my life. I have a demoscene project in the works, aiming for assembly, which I've been procrastinating a little bit, but it's been slowly going ahead. I'm on the bringing it back down to an achievable status after opening up the scope to too many possible things. So I'm trying to refine the motivation to do all of those things that I set myself to do. And it can be hard to do that. And I have a few other stuff to do, stuff related to the label, stuff related to creative writing that I want to get out of my to-do list. And yeah, I've been procrastinating by playing games on the last few weeks, last month, pretty much. But yeah, things are going well overall. So yeah, just keeping it steady, trying to do the content that I committed to doing, and exploring a few new things whenever I can, and playing some games now and again. Anyways, hope you found this video useful. See you next video. Bye bye everybody. Have a great day.